Hello and welcome. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now. I'm Shrishti Sharma and with me Cheryl D'Souza. And viewers, this is the show where we highlight all the counters that are buzzing either on the back of the news flow or on the back of the technicals. In a short while from now, we will connect with our researcher as well as our technical expert to highlight all the stocks that are buzzers today. But before that, let's have a look at what the markets are up to. Cheryl, a smart recovery from the day's lowest points and both the benchmark indices are trading well away in green.
Absolutely, Shrishti, and at 11 o'clock when we were talking about the markets, the setup was pretty different than what it is right now. It was in the negative territory, a spectacular rally, I beg your pardon, recovery that is actually underway when it comes to the benchmark indices in the positive territory. Almost over 0.5% recovery coming in for the benchmark indices. Ditto is for Nifty Bank as well. That one also has seen a good recovery from the day's lowest point, while the broader markets are still hovering in the negative territory, but there's a recovery there as well. So yes, we are trying to actually claw back from the day's lowest point for the benchmark indices, now inching towards the day's highest point. Advanced decline ratio still is neck to neck. You have the IT index that was under pressure in trade today, so was metal index also that were taking a bit easy in trade today. So they continue to actually trade in the negative territory, but it's the FMCG index that is the top sectoral gainer and continues to be so right now, Shrishti. So that's the way how the markets are looking like at this point in time.
Okay, so after getting back into the green, not much action onto the benchmark indices, but a lot of stock-specific action. So let's kickstart highlighting all those counters for us. But before that, let me welcome Vamakshi on the research side as well as on the technical front. We are being joined by Osho Krishan, Senior Analyst, Technical and Derivative Research at Angel One. Very good afternoon to both of you, and thank you, Osho, for your time. But let me kickstart with the first stock, that is big boy Reliance, that is indeed supporting the markets, and that's after JP Morgan. Positive note on Reliance, where they maintain their overweight rating with a target price of 2,810 rupees. What JP Morgan is highlighting is that the gap between the Reliance standalone and consolidated profit has increased significantly as the telecom and retails have ramped up. But the stock has been range bound under pressure of large earnings cut, but this should largely be over now. Retail and telecommunication EBITDA should continue to grow even as the companies reduce their overall capex, is what JP Morgan is highlighting with respect to their view on Reliance. And indeed, during the afternoon session, we have seen Reliance jumping from the day's lowest point as well, inching up against, holding up a gains of 1.6% as of now.
All right, moving on then from Reliance Industries right on to Quest Corp, and that particular counter is in focus is because IIFL Securities has come up with a note where they've initiated coverage on Quest Corp with a buy rating and the target price, 12-month target price is around 620 rupees per share. They say that Quest Corp's FY23 profitability was largely impacted by EBITDA loss in its jobs platform Foundit, and they expect the unit to turn EBITDA neutral in FY25. They're saying higher thrust on manufacturing opportunities in the tier 2 and 3 cities, as well as expansion of the commercial real estate are the key drivers coming in for Quest Corp. They've saying that the Quest Corp's recent increase in the focus on manufacturing construction segment is timely and also will further diversify its client mix. This is what IIFL Securities has mentioned in their note. So on back of this particular development, you saw Quest Corp actually see an uptick of as much as 3% on an intraday basis, taking the stock price to the highest level since November 2022. No doubt it's given up some of this gain, but still holding on to good gains, about 1.9%. That's Quest Corp.
Okay, moving on, and Osho, coming to you for our first stock, that's Century Ply. Tell us how this counter looking on charts.
Very good afternoon, everyone. Well, firstly, about the technical charts of Century Ply, in the recent period, it has seen a very drastic up move from the zone of nearly 650, 680 odd levels. We have seen a very strong up move in this counter, and in today's session, we are again have seen a strong upsurge on the back of robust volume. So overall technical parameters look very much robust or very much bullish in this counter as of now. And from here onwards, in a short to medium term time frame, one can expect approximately 200 to 250 odd points on upsurge. So likely we are expecting 1000 as a target in short to medium term time frame. But for immediate basis, the first resistance that can be seen around the zone of 850 to 60 for short-term traders, followed by 900, 950 and 1000. But overall, technical structure is very much positive for this counter, and for a medium-term time frame, one should definitely try to accumulate it.
All right, moving on. Vamakshi, let's talk about India Glycol and why is that particular counter in focus today? Well, Cheryl, this counter is in focus today, and in fact, the stock is surging in trade today. As of now, the counter is trading nearly 9% higher, and that is because the company has secured an ethanol supply tenders worth almost 1,164 crores from oil companies. The firm has been allocated those quantities through tender participation for supply of almost 16.5 crore litres of ethanol. Now, this has come under the ethanol blended petrol program, and in fact, they will be supplying this ethanol from their grain-based distillery in Kashipur, which is in Uttarakhand, and Gorakhpur, which is in Uttar Pradesh. Now, keep in mind that the order worth almost 1,164 odd crores, out of which nearly 896 crores has come from oil marketing companies like BPCL, IOCL, and HPCL, while the remainder 268 odd crores has come from companies like Reliance as well as Nayara Energy. So, all in all, on the back of this order win, on the back of ethanol supply, we have India Glycols in focus. The stock as of now is surging in trade.
Auto win boost for India Glycols then, but moving on, and Osho, the next counter is Midhani, which has already seen a stellar rally in this particular year. The stock is now seen to be resuming its journey upwards. What are the next targets that you are looking out for?
See, overall, the rally for this counter has been terrific. From the zone of nearly 200 odd levels, this counter has multiplied 2 times. And in the recent period, it has even witnessed some kind of price-wise correction or profit booking at the higher levels, and again has retraced approximately 38%. And from here onwards, again gaining some traction. So on technical specific level front, 415 is the first resistance. Once it surpasses 415 on a decisive manner, then from here onwards one can expect a very strong momentum in this counter. On the higher end, 450, 460 is the first target for this counter. Once it breaches above that, then it can even test 500 levels in the coming period. So overall technical structure for this counter looks very promising, and one should definitely try to accumulate it even at current levels or even in some dips towards the zone of 400.
Alright then, moving on to the next counter, and let's put the spotlight on Sansera Engineering. That's in focus on the back of a brokerage note where Antique has initiated coverage with a buy rating on this counter with a target price of 1,155 rupees. And what Antique is saying that the strong orders provide clear revenue visibility. They are growing addressable market by using new components, luring in the new clients, as well as cashing in on the large non-auto opportunities. Now, consistent organic growth outpacing the peers, improving product mix to drive the profitability are some of the other growth triggers that Antique is highlighting. And indeed, on the back of this positive brokerage note, the stock is holding up a gains of 3.5% as of now.
Alright, let's shift focus to Aarin Chemicals, and that particular counter is in focus in today's trading session. Remember, Aarin Chemicals saw a huge block deal take place in yesterday's trading session, and on back of that, the stock actually saw a sharp movement. And now we have the details that Goldman Sachs FDS, Goldman Sachs India Equity Portfolio, Tata AIA Life Insurance, as well as DSP Mutual actually bought a combined 30.3 lakh shares, which is aggregating about 2.46% stake at about 600 rupees per share in yesterday's block deal. So on back of that, you saw the stock actually see an up move today. India Resurgence Fund Scheme 1 and 2 as well as Pyramid Resources actually sold about 42 lakh shares at an average price of between 600 to 601 rupees per share in yesterday's block deal. So on back of block deal, you have Aarin Chemicals that is in focus. But talking about block deal, come 2 p.m., you will have tracking trends with Nikunj Dalmia, which will actually take a deeper dive in all the block deals that is happening off late. We've been seeing a slew of block deals actually take place in marquee names, where we've seen actually marquee investors enter as well. So yes, 2 p.m. don't miss the interesting discussion that we'll be having and tracking trends with Nikunj Dalmia, which will be particularly putting spotlight on the block deals and the trend that is emerging in that particular space. But apart from that, you will have Nikunj who will be actually answering all your stock related queries as well. So tune in at 2 p.m. tracking trends with Nikunj Dalmia.
Welcome back to Market Fatafat, and let's keep it going with highlighting all the counters that are buzzing. And let's go across to Osho then, because Osho has picked up Juban Pharma, which has already seen a good run up on a YTD basis, gaining almost 40%. But Osho, which are the next targets that one should be looking out for?
See, overall on technical charts, we have seen a V-shaped recovery in Juban Pharma. From the zone of 480, we have seen a very decisive breakout. From there onwards, it has already surged approximately 8 to 10% in the last 2 to 3 trading sessions. But overall, the sentiment has changed a lot in this counter, and we are expecting that from here onwards, any dip towards the zone of 500 followed by 490 should be auguring very well for the bulls or the buyers. And from here onwards, one can expect 560 on immediate basis as a target, followed by 6 levels from medium-term time frame.
All right, moving on then. Makshi, let's talk about Shankara Building. Why is this one in focus?
Well, Cheryl, the stock is in focus after the company announced a demerger. Now, given this announcement, the stock is actually surged up almost 7% today. And let me quickly take you through the details of the demerger. The board has approved the demerger of its trading business into a new wholly owned subsidiary, Shankara Build Pro. They have done this in order to unlock shareholder value. And this demerger is in turn expected to result in two separate entities that will be focused on building materials marketplace and manufacturing respectively. Now, Shankara Building Products shareholders will receive 1 share each for Shankara Build Pro for each share that they actually hold in the parent company, that is Shankara Building. Now, after completion of this merger, the shares of this demerger rather, the shares of Shankara Build Pro are expected to be listed on both NSE and BSE. And in fact, the rationale behind this demerger was aimed at creating a dedicated vertical for growth, unlocking significant value for the shareholders and attracting a new set of investors. So largely, this is the news flow surrounding Shankara Building, and that is the reason why the stock is soaring in trade today. In fact, seeing one of the best trading days for the stock in 2023.
Okay, one of the newsmakers today, that's Shankara Building, but West Coast Paper is the next counter. Osho, tell us, how is this counter looking on charts?
Overall, the paper counters are looking very positive from here onwards. They have seen a very strong consolidation at the higher levels of 50 and 21 exponential moving average on the daily time frame. And in the off lately, they are even attracting buyers. So from here onwards, West Coast Paper looks very promising for a medium-term time frame. Although there will be a gradual up move that we are expecting, but from here onwards, on immediate basis, 760 should be the target, followed by 800 odd levels. And even from risk reward point of view, the support lies very nearby. Approximately 675 to 80 is the very strong support zone for this counter. So from risk reward point of view, it is looking very attractive. And for short term or medium term investors, one can definitely look to buy this counter.
Okay, so that's about West Coast Paper looking a promising bet. We're moving on. Let's shift focus to Vijaya Diagnostics. That's the next counter we wish to highlight. This counter is in focus on the back of the news flow, where the company says that they're going to be acquiring 100% stake in PH Diagnostics for 135 crores. And PH Diagnostics is the largest integrated diagnostic chain in Pune, Maharashtra, where the objective is to build a comprehensive diagnostic chain of network across different geographies and thereby increasing their market share and penetration, specifically in the Pune region, wherein this strategic acquisition will help the company to expand rapidly and with the faster growth rate in Pune, Maharashtra. With this particular transaction is a 35 crores in cash, wherein 12.85 crores shall be infused into the target company to pay the existing debt. And on the back of this news flow, the stock is in focus and still holding a gains of almost 3%.
All right, that's Vijaya Diagnostics to you, and let's shift focus now to the oil companies, that is ONGC, Oil India, MRPL, or for the matter of fact, Chennai Petro. All of them are buzzing in today's trading session, as government has cut the windfall tax on crude oil to about 1,300 rupees per ton from 5,000 rupees per ton. They've also cut the windfall tax on diesel to about 50 paise from 1 rupee earlier. So on back of that particular development coming in, the windfall tax revisions, it's a cut this time coming in for diesel as well as crude oil. So on back of that, you can see ONGC, MRPL, Oil India, all of them buzzing. Even you have Chennai Petro also that's buzzing in trade today.
Okay, well, let's focus to the pharma space then. Osho, after Juban Pharma, another pharma counter on your list, that is Zydus Life Sciences. Tell us more about this.
Zydus Life Sciences have seen a very strong breakout in last trading session, which was having a very strong backup by a trading volumes also. So from here onwards, the type of formation it has made on the daily chart, we are expecting 725, 730 as a target in a very short term period. And looking at the follow-up buying in this counter, one can expect that to be having the target to get achieved in a very sooner period. But overall, the trend is very positive and one can expect a very strong upside movement in this counter. And even for those who have missed out the rally, any dip towards the zone of 670, 680 should be looked for buying opportunity in this counter.
Alright, so that is Zydus Life for you, and that is indeed the last talk on this edition of Market Fatafat. Thank you so much, Osho, as well as Vamakshi, for joining us on the show, taking our viewers through all the stocks that are buzzing in trade. Right, and with that, we come to the end of this edition of Market Fatafat. It's a goodbye from Shrishti, myself, and the team that put the show together. But remember, viewers, stay tuned, because coming up next is Tracking Trends with Nikunj Dalmia, where he'll put the spotlight on block deals, also answer your queries. So don't go anywhere.